Hey everybody, Ryan Hodge here, and it is my January market update for the London and St. Thomas Association of Realtors. And I know that I'm a little bit late to the table today, but I wanted to make sure that you have all of the information readily accessible and available to you as we kick off into 2026. It's hard to believe that we are now at that time where people start to wonder what's going on in real estate. And gosh, I hope all of you had a wonderful holiday season, had some time to reflect, to enjoy your family, your friends. And my purpose, as always, is to give you as much market insight based on my nearly 20 years and Sandra's nearly 20 years inside of this business, not only as active selling real estate agents in the London and St. Thomas market, but also the brokers at the realty firm, which is the leading independent in terms of brand performance in Southwestern Ontario. If you like the content on this channel, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to continue to bring you updates every step of the way this year. My mission is to educate and inform you, whether you're a past client who has bought, sold, invested, or even leased with us in, the past, whether you are new to real estate, whether you are, looking at a potential downsize, upsize, maybe moving out of town. I want to give you more information than I ever have before. And I know that if you go online and in the age of social media and digital marketing, if you're on Facebook or if you're on Instagram, you're going to see a lot of real estate agents that have information out there that may support you in the basics. Based on the fact that our board has over 2,000 agents in it, and on average, they sell less than 5 homes per year per agent, you want to get information that's relevant and you want to make sure that you are working and speaking with someone that has experience. Even if you have another preferred realtor, that's okay. I just want to provide you value. If you follow along here, maybe it's going to share some insight. Maybe it's going to give you some additional information that may support you when you do go to the real estate side of the transaction. So it is a snowy one and it is cold in London, Ontario. We get a lot of people that always ask, when is a good time to sell my home? And in my next video, I'm going to take you through exactly why now may be a more opportune time than waiting until the spring and when the snow thaws. So be sure to subscribe to this channel because I'm going to give you some really detailed insight on that. But in front of me, I have the stats for the market that was December of 2025. So our average sale price right now in London as of December, and the end of December came forward, 614,104. That's average sale price for all residential resale, whether it is a single family, whether it is a condominium, all residential resale is still above 600,000. Isn't that amazing in terms of if you've been following along with real estate or if you've done business with us in the last, 15 years, just how far prices have come? Now, we need to be cautious though, because here's the thing. At the height of our market, which was, 2021, 2022, the average sale price went up over 800,000. So what we saw in London and St. Thomas in particular was once we saw the market start to pick up, we saw this exponential growth that London and St. Thomas have never seen before, at least in as long as I've been doing this. On average, usually sale price, London's a pretty conservative market, would go up about 2%, maybe 4%. But come 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, we saw increases of average sale price between 15 and 30%, which is just astronomical in terms of pricing. But what happened was that when the market corrected based on, inventory starting to shift, interest rates changing the dynamic, a lot of uncertainty with what was going on with buyers, with politics, things like that, we had in the end of 2023, I reference it to all of my clients that it was like somebody turned a faucet off and the market just shut down. Now, I'll get to that in a second, but what we've seen since then is about a 25 to 30% correction, depending on the area that somebody lives in. So that's why we've seen this adjustment, which all of a sudden really changes the market, especially inside of that transitional period. We have a lot of people that still want to achieve the pricing that happened in 2021. I went on probably upwards of 50 appointments last year of folks that bought in 2021 or 2022 that cannot possibly sell right now. So it's important to have information, especially before you get out and go shopping. The other thing I'll mention is that in a hot market, not every home sells. Okay. Usually there's about 25 to 30% of homes that may not sell inside of that market. However, in this market, and when a market transitions, more often than not, we get probably 1 in 2 homes that sold. In some cases, only 1 in 3 homes that are selling. I don't want that to scare you off. I don't want you to be concerned about it. What I want you to understand and recognize is just having that information is powerful. What I also share is that Sandra and I, in 2025, in its entirety, did not have one single listing that expired, which means that we listed the property and it went all the way through to the end of the listing agreement and did not sell and expired coming off of the market. So you can have success in this, but who you work with matters. Whether it's us, whether it's another experienced agent of your choice, you just want to have that information. Number of sold homes in December was actually up. 398 homes sold in 2025 December. Okay, that's up almost 1% since 2024. Now, the number of new listings also increased. So we were up about 10% with 556 new listings in December of 2024. What that tells me is that inventory, again, is climbing. So buyers have more choices. But again, we need to be very, very competitive if we're selling. Amazing opportunities right now if you're buying, if you're upsizing, lots of good opportunity to get a deal. Median days on the market was 43, which has increased. So homes are sitting a little bit longer. And that is a difference of 9 days since December of 2024. So homes all of a sudden start sitting for 10 extra days. Sandra and I traditionally, over the course of our almost 20 years in the business, typically hover around 19 days on the market. So from the time that somebody lists their property to the time that it actually sells, usually under 30 days for sure. What you're seeking in that time period is 8 to 10 showings with quality buyers, okay? Buyers that have actually gotten a pre-approval, they're working with a realtor, they are actually qualified to purchase that home. The last thing that anybody wants is somebody that, comes through your property, they put an offer on that you find acceptable, but they can't actually afford it. So really be discerning. Speak with your agent about, what does that buyer's financing look like before you go to accept an offer. So what we know right now is that there's lots of buyers looking, there's lots of inventory, there's lots of choice. So we just want to be sure that we're working with qualified people because we know that there's going to be a little bit more negotiation. But we also know that from list to sale time, even though the market average is about 43 days, right now we're still under 30 days on average with any home that we've sold in 2025. The benefit here is that you can start planning ahead. So oftentimes people hear, oh gosh, Ryan and Sandra sell homes in 19 days. That doesn't mean that you're moving in 19 days. From the time that you list it to the time that you get an accepted offer and that it's called firm, so there's no conditions on it and it's a legally binding agreement, that is where you can start making your planning moves for a closing date. And that closing date can be 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and even beyond, depending on the negotiation. So it's not like you're immediately moving unless you really want to. I'm going to continue to update you on market stats. I'm going to share what's going on month over month. I'm going to bring you some real insights on anything and everything that I can about the real estate industry, our real estate landscape. You could actually sell your home without using a realtor with the information that I will provide this year. And I'm going to keep that coming on a weekly basis. I'm going to load up 4 new videos in the next couple days to this channel to give you some insight on pricing properly, different approaches to pricing that most agents don't take, looking at, the real proper means to market your home. And I'm also going to give you a lot of insight about what's going on in the London, Ontario environment in general, whether it's events, whether it's, information that you might just find beneficial, whether it's, businesses that we, connect with and speak to that, we may find that you feel would be helpful for you and your business and lives and families. So stay tuned for lots of information. I can't wait to have an amazing 2026 with all of you. And if you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to reach out. You can message me through this channel or get me on any of our social media platforms, or just give me a text 519-859-5408. Sandra and I are always around. We thank you for your business and support. And again, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel, and we look forward to chatting really, really soon.